The atmosphere around Rangers has taken on a different tone in the past few days, almost as if the club is standing at the edge of a turning point that nobody expected to arrive quite so quickly. The conversations nosing their way through the corridors at Ibrox have hit a level of importance that has supporters keeping one eye on the pitch and the other on what is unfolding behind closed doors. Everyone felt that something big was coming, but the whispers now hint at a development that goes beyond what most fans had braced themselves for. You can feel the mix of curiosity and caution settling in as people try to make sense of what this extraordinary move could mean for the months ahead. While all that noise rumbles in the background, the focus on the squad has taken its own twists. One of the most surprising storylines has been the re-emergence of Armand Barami, who looked completely out of the picture not long ago. People had almost written him off, convinced he would drift through the season without getting a real chance to show his worth. Then the match against Livingston arrived, and he stepped off the bench with a spark that caught everyone's attention. It was the kind of appearance that makes supporters wonder if they had judged a player too soon. His energy was sharp, his decision-making looked cleaner, and for the first time in a long while he resembled someone ready to fight for a place rather than someone lost in the shuffle. Under the previous setup, he had already begun slipping out of favor, and when the new head coach came in, many assumed nothing would change. But something in his attitude after the international break gave him a nudge in the right direction. You could see a player desperate to take advantage of even the smallest opening. It may still be only the first step, yet it is the first step he has needed for a long time, and it puts him back into the conversation at a moment when the squad is being assessed with fresh eyes. Meanwhile, another player finds himself on the opposite end of the spectrum. Taylor Asgard has been struggling to catch fire, and each passing week only reinforces how difficult this adaptation has been for him. The coaching staff know he has the talent, and they have been patient. But patience is always tested at a club where expectations arrive at your feet every single time you touch the ball. He places huge pressure on himself, maybe too much at times, and that weight has shown in his recent performances. His time in the national team gave him a boost, yet that confidence has not carried over into domestic matches the way everyone hoped it would. The staff are trying to guide him back to the level they believe he can reach, but he must meet them halfway. All of this unfolds while Kevin Thelwell's role at the club sits under sharper scrutiny than ever. Conversations around Nicholas Rascin have only turned the spotlight brighter. Rumours that the sporting director may be open to selling the midfielder in the winter window have stirred frustration and disbelief among supporters who see Rascin as one of the few players capable of dictating the tempo in the centre of the pitch. The timing could not be more sensitive with the season approaching its most demanding stretch. Many fans feel that moving him on would not simply be a risk, but an act that could undermine everything the team is trying to build. There is a natural worry when someone with genuine influence in midfield might be moved on before the club have even hit the decisive period of the campaign. Raskin's mix of bite, technique, and awareness is something the squad cannot easily replace. When he is fit and firing, the entire shape of the team looks more balanced, and any talk of losing him leaves supporters wondering how the club would justify it. His contract situation raises genuine questions of but for most people, the solution seems obvious. Hold on to him until the right moment arrives, even if that comes further down the line when the market may favour Rangers more heavily. The outside pressure does not stop there. Decisions made behind the scenes have added fuel to the fire, especially with appointments that appear far too close to home for some supporters' liking. Bringing in familiar faces from previous workplaces has only raised eyebrows at a time when trust in the hierarchy is already fragile. Every move is being dissected with the kind of intensity that shows just how much the fan base expects: clarity, ambition, and long-term planning. Instead, the boardroom feels like a source of noise rather than reassurance. The first team have been doing their best to drown out that noise by putting results on the board, and Danny RÖHL has been central to that shift in mood. Since stepping into the role, he has injected a level of enthusiasm and tactical discipline that seemed to evaporate earlier in the season. The win over Livingston captured exactly that spirit, a match that looked destined for frustration before the players forced it their way with determination and late quality. It is the kind of result that builds belief around a new manager, showing that his ideas are landing and that the squad are responding to the demands he is setting. RÖHL has made it clear from the start that every player will be evaluated fairly and that performances will decide who earns their place. That approach has given some players the chance to breathe new life into their seasons, but it has also exposed others who have yet to find their rhythm. Asgard's outing at the weekend was another reminder that he still has a long way to go before he can command the central creative role the team desperately need filled. He struggled to influence the match, drifted out of dangerous areas too easily, and never quite looked in sync with the pace of the game. For someone carrying the responsibility of linking midfield to attack, those lapses make a big difference. Rangers did not invest lightly when they brought him in, and supporters are beginning to wonder how long the club can wait for him to settle. That tension is growing at a time when the squad is still carrying the fingerprints of the previous coaching regime. Some signings have not found their place, others are fighting uphill battles, and the rebuild remains in motion even as results begin trending upwards on the pitch. The balance between patience and progress is fragile, and every individual performance feeds into the bigger decisions that will soon shape the rest of the season. The conversation around the squad becomes even more layered when you look at how the new coaching team are analyzing performances from week to week. They are paying attention to the smallest patterns, the tiny habits that can either elevate a player or pull them further away from what the team needs. That kind of detail-driven environment can be a blessing for someone eager to grow, but it can also expose weaknesses quickly, especially for players still adjusting to the expectations of playing at a club where every touch, every decision, every moment is judged. Asgard fits right into that precarious space. You can see he wants to make things happen, but wanting and delivering are two very different things when the pressure is on and the supporters are demanding a spark that he has not yet been able to ignite. There is also a sense around the training ground that some of the issues lingering within the squad are the remnants of a period of uncertainty that came before the current leadership took hold. A few arrivals from the previous regime have not fully integrated, which leaves the current coaching staff trying to mold a group that was built with someone else's blueprint. RÖHL is working hard to break that cycle, encouraging players to trust his methods and rediscover their confidence, but the process takes time, and time is something the club rarely affords in abundance. Still, the shift in energy since he stepped in is undeniable. The players look sharper, the sessions have more bite, and the overall mood has moved away from the stagnation that had crept in earlier in the season. Even with that progress, the uncertainty behind the scenes continues to cast a long shadow. The decisions made in the coming months could have long-lasting consequences, and that is why the discussion around Rascin feels so crucial. Supporters do not want to see the heart of their midfield torn out at a stage of the campaign when the team should be pushing forward rather than stepping back. The idea of selling him midway through such an important period feels to many like prioritizing short-term finance over footballing ambition. In a club that prides itself on competing at the top level, the timing of any major departure has to be measured carefully, and right now, the risk appears far greater than the reward. Part of the frustration is rooted in the fact that the supporters have seen this story unfold before. They have watched promising players leave in moments when the team desperately needed stability, and they have lived through the consequences of those disruptions. Losing someone who brings balance to the midfield, someone who links the technical and physical demands of the game so naturally, would feel like the start of another unnecessary rebuild at a time when the team finally appears to be finding some consistency. That a sense of lingering déjà vu fuels the skepticism around the decision-makers, and every rumor only heightens the tension. Meanwhile, in the dressing room, the players are trying to block out the noise and stay focused on results. The late heroics against Livingston came from a team that refused to give up on the match and believed they would find a way through. Moments like that do not happen when a squad is fractured. They happen when players buy into the manager's ideas and trust their teammates to deliver in the most intense moments. That belief is growing each week, and RÖHL's influence is becoming more visible as he pushes the team to play with more intensity, more urgency, and a clearer sense of purpose. But even with that progress, there is no escaping the reality that certain individuals are fighting for their long-term place at the club. Asgard's situation illustrates the challenge perfectly. He was signed with high expectations, a player many believed could bring creativity and a different kind of movement into the final third. But so far, he has been chasing shadows more than he has been shaping games. Whether it is the pace, the physicality, or simply the pressure of wearing the shirt, something is preventing him from showing the level he reached elsewhere. The numbers speak loudly, demonstrating how difficult this transition has been. And that is why so many are wondering whether he can truly adapt, or whether this chapter will end before it ever really begins. You can sense the urgency in the coaching staff's analysis. They are pushing him, guiding him, reminding him that this is a club where the margins are thin and patience is finite. But they are also giving him chances, which shows they believe there is something there worth fighting for. The problem is that matches are piling up, competitions are intensifying, and Rangers cannot afford passengers in a season where every point matters. If he can't lift his level soon, the questions about his role will only grow louder, especially with January approaching and decisions looming about the shape of the squad going forward. Amid all of this, other players are stepping up and showing why they remain essential pieces of the team. Some have rediscovered their spark under RÖHL. Others have taken advantage of the clean slate he offered when he arrived. That natural competition is healthy, and it is pushing the squad to operate with more hunger. But it also means the margin for error is even smaller for anyone who fails to keep up. This shift in intensity mirrors the expectations of the supporters who want to see a team that embodies the ambition of a club trying to reclaim its best form. The dynamic within the squad is changing, and the next few weeks will reveal who is ready to adapt and who risks being left behind. The players know the manager is watching closely. They know every performance, every training session, every decision they make influences how the staff view their role in the future. And with the club preparing for a period that could reshape the entire project, that individual responsibility becomes even more significant. The uncertainty off the pitch may continue, but on the pitch, the message is clear. There is no room for hesitation, no space for drifting, no time for waiting on potential that has yet to show itself. Before we continue, make sure to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications to get all the exclusive news about Rangers FC. Don't overlook any details about your beloved team. It's crucial for Rangers FC fans. Rumours been swirling. Rune Govan this morning, a proper burble, spreading faster than steam after pie at half-time. Whispers drift out o' the training ground, suggesting Danny RÖHL has fairly lost the hide we won a his star lads. And the talk is he's readied the door for him. Folk close to the squad claim the German gaffer let rip behind closed doors, the kind of blast that shakes the boot room and sends the younger boys staring at their laces. There's no official line, of course, but the sense is that something's snapped, and the player in question might be closer to a taxi down Edmiston Drive than another shift in royal blue. Those who ken RÖHL say he's not the type for empty threats, quiet, meticulous, but with a temper simmering beneath that calm exterior. When he detonates, as one source put it, it tends to mean the situation's reached the point of no return, and that's why the Ibrox faithful are buzzing with speculation, trying to piece together who could have pushed the boss past his limits, a fallout, our attitude, a clash, a ego, or something more subtle, a pattern of behavior that's finally crossed the line. What's adding fuel to the fire is the insistence, repeated in hushed voices, that RÖHL's message was crystal. The player is out, not benched, not rested, but out, as in finished at Rangers. Until anything's confirmed, it remains pure rumour. The sort that keeps punters refreshing their phones and arguing in pubs from Partick to Paisley. Still, the tone of the chatter suggests this isn't your run-of-the-mill tiff. Something significant's rumbling beneath the surface, and the club might soon be forced to show its hand. For now, the supporters are left guessing, scanning every hint, every gesture, every silence fray the club. Whatever's gone on behind the scenes, it's clear that this story's no done yet, and the next twist could shake Ibrox to its core. Greetings, fans. Make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel, as it's greatly appreciated by Rangers FC. And don't forget to share your thoughts on the news in the comments section below. Until the next video, stay tuned.